I've had the same exact band now for 7 years. So that means 31 people quit this band in 12 fucking years. That's almost 3 a year walked away from this thing. There's only so many blame games you can play before you're like, man, I am fucking hard to be around. Maybe I should make some personal changes and try to grow as a person. I think that's evident of the last 7 years. I've had the same band for 7 years, and I feel like I finally figured out how to be a better person. I do not think that's a coincidence. I do not think that those 7 years come during that 10 years of sobriety as well. I think they kind of go hand in hand. Part of recovery is about trying to grow and look yourself in the mirror and see those broken pieces and trying to do something about fixing them instead of just trying to cover them up for 6 to 10 hours at a time. But another one of the main tenets of recovery is making amends with the people that you hurt. And so for the last decade, I've tried to do that. Of those 31 people, I'm very proud. This is almost something I'm as proud of as just the 10 years. Is of those 31, I've reconnected with 29 of them. Yeah. All it took was one very simple thing. It took me picking up the phone, calling them, and saying 2 words: I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was a bad friend. Sorry I was a bad boss. Sorry I was a bad human being. And most of them immediately we just picked right back up. It was amazing. When relationships end, it's usually always bad at the very, very end. And you forget about all these really great times you had together. I don't know if anybody out there has ever been in a touring rock and roll band. It fucking rules. Especially the early days. Because the early days, you have 0 fucks. Like, you're not getting paid. You're just in a van with your best friends, seeing the country for the first time, learning who you are as an adult. It's truly mind-blowing, the lessons that you learn on the road. You learn that humanity is alive and well. There's not just all bad people out there. There's so many good people that come to a show and are like, fuck, you want to sleep on my floor? And we're like, yes, because we can't afford anything else. So that would be great. I promise we won't steal your silverware. It was incredible. And so what I learned is once I reconnected with these people, I was so afraid that they were going to talk about how bad I was. But all we talked about was like, you remember that one time in that one city where we did this crazy fucking thing and we're still alive? This is amazing. And now when I go through their towns, they're all over the country. They spread out everywhere. And every time I go through their towns, I get coffee, I have dinner. And it really brings me a lot of joy reconnecting with these people because they really are my friends. There's 2 of those people that I have tried countless times to call, send a message to, and they don't want anything to do with an apology. They don't want anything to do with me, and that's okay. I've tried, and I will continue to try to reconnect with these people. But at a certain point, you have to look yourself in the mirror and say, their heart was never in it. And they weren't talented enough to be in a touring rock and roll band. This song goes out to the 29 people that did answer my phone call. Fuck those other 2. I'm only sort of kidding about that. I'd say it's 50-50. But this goes out to them because, man, what a ride it was. Like I said, there was a group of them. There were 6 of them that were in this band for quite a long time, and I still actively remember every time I pull up to this place. I still remember the first time we pulled up. We used to have this black 1998 Dodge van, and it said American Aquarium Baptist Church on the side of it. It said American Aquarium Baptist Church, Raleigh, North Carolina. And we did that so nobody would rob us. We did it because like people will fuck with rock and roll bands. Not many people fuck with Jesus. And we also did it because when cops pulled you over for going fast, they saw the Baptist church and they were very nice and not giving, even though we just reeked of booze. And I looked like Woody from Toy Story if we went on like a 2-week bender. It was just a pearl snap shirt and this long hair, and I was like, yeah, officer, we're like a traveling youth group. And what was great is at the time we were touring on a record called The Bible in the Bottle. And so I had this whole backstory about how we were a bunch of Reformed Christians who traveled from church to church and talked about the love of Jesus Christ and pulled people out of that bottle and sent them right into the Bible. And so I talked my way out of quite a few tickets. But every time I pull up to this place, I still remember the first time we pulled up in that black Dodge van. Such good times. It was the first time I'd ever been to Little Rock, Arkansas. First time anybody had ever taken us to the Flying Fish down there. I still go there. Anytime we're at the river, I might eat that fucking fish. Because why not? You know?
Shrimp cocktail.
And then the second time we came through town, a friend of mine was like, "Hey, are y'all driving from Memphis to Little Rock?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you have to stop in DeVal's Bluff and go to this place called Craig's. And I was like, "Fuck yeah, I like barbecue." And so we stopped at Craig's and it didn't look open. We walked up and we're like, "Oh, this place must have shut down like years ago." And then we saw the front door open. I was like, "Fuck no, it didn't." Like, they're still open. So then I walked in, and you know how it is when you walk through that first little breezeway, you open the main door, and then you're like, "Oh yeah, this place definitely is closed down." And then like, "What do you want, sweetie?" And I'm like, "Fuck." And I was like, "What's on the menu though?" "We don't have menus." I'm like, "This is perfect. This is exactly where I want to be." And so today, for the first time ever, I took Mark, my tour manager. I was like, "We got to take like a 50-minute detour." He's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because there's this place that I haven't eaten since like 2018 that I need to have it." So I went in there and sure as shit, it was everything I wanted it to be. Miss Mary wasn't making pies anymore across the street, but the food was, that hot barbecue sauce just, oh fuck me, it's so good. So good. It made my day. And then we came here and I have such good memories. And most of those memories came the first few times we played because this became kind of a home for us. This was one of those places that even if there was only 10 people in the fucking crowd, they would find $100 in the till and hand it to us and say, "Get to where you're going safe. Let us know when you need to come back." And not every club does that. But this was the first place we ever felt like a presence outside of our hometown, outside of the state of North Carolina. This was the one place. And I'm pretty sure there was a couple years where we played here like every 2 months. Like, because it was one of the only places that would book us. And I remember they used to have Killian's Irish Red on tap. And like, they would just give us pictures of that shit. And like, this was the only place in America that you walked around and nobody drank beer out of cups or like cans. Everybody's walking around with these giant pitchers. And I would try to go home and tell people these stories. I'm like, "No, there's like this bar in like Arkansas where they serve everybody beer in like pitchers. And they don't have cups and they just walk around drinking out of pitchers." And they're like, "That can't exist." I'm like, "That magical place is called the Whitewater Tavern." So I don't think you can do the pitcher thing anymore, and that's probably best for all of us, if I'm being honest. But this goes out to those 29 that I got to experience all of the life with in the early days. And this is a song called "When We Were Younger Men." I still hear the silence echo across the hardwood floors, screaming as you cut across the room to that front door. Nothing lasts forever, I'd have sworn you'd stay. Ain't it funny how the good things in life seem to fade away? We were carrying a heavy load until one of us got tired of lifting. We were driving down a dead-end road in a car too far gone for fixing. And I still think about that summer, and I still hear the sounds. Petty on the radio, I won't back down. I called you my brother, but you were closer than my kin. And it kills me knowing you may never pass my way again. But I hope every now and then you look back fondly on the days we were younger men. We packed up that 350 for the county line. With hopes and dreams and other childish things men learn to leave behind. We spent a decade doing circles, not knowing what's in store. Each new town more magical than the town before. But we lost track of time, and the dark hair of our youth started whitening. I watched my father's face become mine, and the cool hands of truth started to tighten. I still think about that summer, so long ago it seems. Petty on the radio, us running down a dream. I called you my brother, but you were closer than my kin. And it kills me knowing you may never pass my way again. But I hope every now and then you look back fondly on the days we were younger men. And I remember back before that pendulum had swung, back before we said the things that couldn't be undone. I remember back when we were wild, we were young. I still think about that summer. Night passed us by. Petty on the radio, us learning how to fly. I called you my brother, but you were closer than my kin. It kills me knowing you may never pass my way again. But I hope every now and then you look back fondly